$3,200. That is the amount Prep took from a Chase ATM in Fremont, California on a Tuesday afternoon in January 2026. A 61-year-old Indian man, a green card holder since 2011, retired engineer. He needed cash to pay a contractor remodeling his kitchen. Cash because the contractor offered a 15% discount for paying in cash. He took out $3,200 on Tuesday, then $2,800 on Thursday, then $3,000 on Saturday. Total $9,000 in 1 week. All from his own savings account. All lawful. All his money. 12 days later, he got a letter from Chase Bank. Subject line account review, activity hold, reference number S2026-094. His debit card stopped working. His automatic mortgage payment bounced. His wife could not buy groceries. 26 days after that first ATM withdrawal, 2 agents from Homeland Security Investigations knocked on his door holding a folder. Inside that folder, 6 months of transaction records, his 2024 tax return, and a printed map showing every ATM location he had visited in the past 90 days. They asked him one question. "Mr. Patel, are you sending money to anyone overseas?" He was not. He was paying a contractor. But the algorithm did not care about contractors. The algorithm saw a pattern. Repeated cash withdrawals below the reporting threshold, rising frequency, total approaching $10,000, and it triggered a suspicious activity report. That report moved from Chase Bank to FinCEN to the Department of Homeland Security in less than 72 hours. Preet was cleared after 41 days, but he spent $4,300 on an immigration attorney. His mortgage company charged a $200 late fee. His credit score dropped 38 points. This is what happens when you do not understand the $3,000 rule. A rule that no bank will explain to you, that no immigration officer will warn you about, and that no YouTube video has ever broken down with the precision I'm about to give you right now. Today, I'm going to show you 5 invisible tripwires hidden inside every ATM transaction you make. 5 rules that connect your cash withdrawals directly to the Department of Homeland Security, and 5 steps to protect yourself starting tonight. Let's begin. In 2026, the United States government monitors your money through 3 separate systems running at the same time. System 1, the Currency Transaction Report. Under the Bank Secrecy Act of 1970, codified at 31 United States Code Section 5313, every bank in America must file a report with FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, for any cash transaction exceeding $10,000 in a single business day. This is automatic. The teller does not ask for your permission. The report includes your full name, social security number, address, date of birth, and the amount. System 2, the Suspicious Activity Report under 31 United States Code, Section 53318, and its implementing regulation 31 CFR Section 10-320. Banks must file a SIR for any transaction of $5,000 or more, or any pattern of transactions that the bank knows, suspects, or has reason to suspect involves funds from illegal activity, is designed to evade reporting requirements, or has no lawful purpose they can identify. There is no minimum dollar amount if the bank suspects criminal activity involving an insider. There is no minimum if a pattern suggests structuring. System 3, the $3,000 rule. Under 31 CFR, Section 1010.415, any purchase of a monetary instrument, a money order, cashier's check, bank draft, or traveler's check involving cash between $3,000 and $10,000 requires the bank to record and verify your identity, your name, date of birth, social security number or alien identification number, and address. This record is retained for 5 years and is available to FinCEN, the IRS, and law enforcement on demand without a warrant. Now here is what changed in 2026. On March 7, 2026, FinCEN issued an expanded geographic targeting order covering money service businesses in Arizona, California, New Mexico, and Texas. This order dropped the currency transaction report threshold from $10,000 down to $1,000 for any cash transaction in designated border counties and zip codes: Maricopa County, Arizona; Pima County, Arizona; El Paso County, Texas; Webb County, Texas; San Diego County, California. Zip codes 919TEL, 92101, 92113, 92117, 92196, 92154, 92173. If you live in any of these areas and use an ATM or money service to handle cash above $1,000, a federal report is filed on you automatically. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent said in the official press release, quote, "For too long, cartels have abused the US financial system to profit from poisoning Americans with deadly fentanyl. At Treasury, we are expanding our efforts to keep drug money out of the United States." End quote. But here is the problem. The geographic targeting order does not distinguish between a drug cartel operative and a 61-year-old retired engineer paying a kitchen contractor. The system captures everyone. Now let me show you the 5 traps. Trap number 1, the ATM pattern trap. Banks do not only report transactions above $10,000, banks use internal monitoring algorithms that flag patterns below $10,000. Former bank tellers confirm on record that their systems record your social security number for any cash withdrawal at or above $3,000. Multiple withdrawals approaching that threshold, $2,900, $2,800, $3,100, trigger an internal alert. If the compliance officer determines your pattern is suspicious, a SIR is filed. Here is the critical fact. A SAR has no minimum dollar threshold when structuring a suspected. The regulation at 31 CFR, Section 10-20-320 states that a bank must file a SAR for transactions that aggregate $5,000 or more when suspicious. But the bank's internal policy can set the threshold lower. Many banks, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, set internal monitoring thresholds at $2,000 to $3,000 for cash withdrawals that appear patterned. You will never be told this. The SAR is filed secretly. Under 31 United States Code, Section 5318, subsection G, the bank is prohibited by federal law from telling you SAR has been filed. If the teller hints at it, that teller faces criminal penalties. Trap number 2, the structuring trap. Under 31 United States Code Section 5-114, it is a federal crime to structure transactions, meaning to break a large transaction into smaller ones for the purpose of evading reporting requirements. Maximum penalty: 5 years in federal prison and a fine of $250,000 for individuals, $500,000 for corporations. Here is what most immigrants do not understand. You do not need to know the exact law to be charged. The government only needs to prove that you intended to keep your transactions below the reporting limit. If you withdraw $9,500 from an ATM on Monday and $9,500 on Tuesday, the government will argue you structured, even if you simply needed cash on both days. Real case. Ken Kuran, a Palestinian-American convenience store owner in Greenville, North Carolina. A former firefighter who immigrated with $3,000 and spent 17 years building a business. He made regular withdrawals under $10,000, money from his own legal store earnings. The IRS seized his entire bank account, over $150,000, without charging him with any crime. Agents stormed his store on June 20, 2014, swept the premises with a dog, blocked customers from entering, and handed him a form titled Consent to Forfeiture. One agent yelled at Ken and said refusing to sign disrespected the government's authority. Another agent said they would pay his wife a visit if he did not sign. Ken, whose native tongue is Arabic, said he did not understand the English well enough to know what he was signing. He signed. His money was gone. The Institute for Justice took his case. They documented that from 2005 to 2012, the IRS seized over $240 million in structuring cases. 1/3 of those cases involved no other criminal allegation, just deposits or withdrawals under $10,000. Trap number 3, the $1,000 border trap. If you live in or travel through the expanded geographic targeting order zones, effective March 7, 2026 through September 2, 2026, money service businesses must file a currency transaction report for any cash transaction between $1,000 and $10,000. This includes check cashing, money orders, wire transfers, and currency exchanges. The filing deadline is 30 days. The report goes directly to FinCEN. From FinCEN, it is accessible to the IRS, DHS, ICE, DEA, FBI, and over 300 other law enforcement agencies. Counties covered: Maricopa, Arizona; Pima, Arizona; Santa Cruz, Arizona; Yuma, Arizona; Bernalillo, New Mexico; Doña Ana, New Mexico; San Juan, New Mexico; Cameron, Texas; El Paso, Texas; Hidalgo, Texas, Maverick, Texas, Webb, Texas. California zip codes in Imperial County 90231, 9U1249, 9U281, 9U9283. San Diego County 91U910, 9U101, 9U103, 9U107, 9U2126, 9U154, 9U173. If you visit family in El Paso and cash a check for $1,500 at a check cashing store, a CTR is filed with your full identification. If you buy a money order for $100 to $200 at a convenience store in San Diego zip code 92154, your name, date of birth, and identification number are recorded and reported. There is no exemption for legal residents. There is no exemption for citizens. Everyone is captured. Trap number 4. The SAR to DHS pipeline. Here is where immigration enforcement enters the picture. When a SAR is filed, it enters the FinCEN database. Under the IRS-ICE data sharing agreement signed April 2025 between Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, ICE requested information on 1.28 million taxpayers. The IRS disclosed records for 47 out of 289 individuals who matched their database. Now 2 federal courts have stepped in. In November 2025, a federal court in Washington, D.C. ordered a temporary suspension on the IRS sharing data with ICE and found the agreement likely unlawful. In February 2026, a federal court in Massachusetts prohibited DHS from using or viewing data from the agreement. But here is what the courts did not do. They did not order the 47,000 records already in ICE's possession to be destroyed. That data is still there. If your name is in that batch, your financial history is visible to immigration enforcement right now. The pipeline works like this. You withdraw cash from an ATM in a pattern. Your bank files a SAR with FinCEN. FinCEN data is accessible to hundreds of agencies including ICE. ICE cross-references with the 47,000 records already obtained from the IRS. Homeland Security Investigations opens a case. An agent appears at your door. Trap number 5, the civil forfeiture trap. Under civil asset forfeiture law, the government can seize your cash without charging you with a crime. They file a case against your money, not against you. The legal case is literally titled United States versus $150,000. The standard is preponderance of evidence. The government only needs to show it is more likely than not that your money is connected to illegal activity. Your withdrawal pattern, multiple ATM transactions below $10,000, is presented as the evidence. Real case. Randy Sowers, a dairy farmer in Maryland. 30 years of raising cows, selling glass-bottled milk, and handmade ice cream at farmers markets where customers pay in cash. A bank teller told his wife Karen that keeping deposits under $10,000 would save the bank paperwork. The teller never mentioned federal law. Karen followed the advice. In February 2012, the IRS seized nearly $63,000, their entire bank account. The government served a grand jury subpoena, meaning criminal charges were possible. 5 years in prison for depositing their own milk money. Federal prosecutors made an offer. Forfeit $2,950 and we drop everything. The Sowers accepted because they could not afford to fight. A dairy farmer lost $29,000 because a bank teller gave bad advice. These traps are not theoretical. They are operational. They are running right now, and they do not distinguish between a drug trafficker and a retired Indian uncle paying for kitchen tiles. Now let me show you what one wrong ATM withdrawal costs in real dollars. Scenario 1, you withdraw $8,000 from an ATM over 4 days. The bank files a SAR. Your account is frozen for review. Average freeze duration, 21 to 60 days, according to banking compliance data. During that freeze, you miss a mortgage payment. Late fee $200. Credit score dropped 25 to 40 points. You hire an immigration attorney because DHS sent a letter. Average cost $4,000 to $8,000. Total cost of one ATM pattern, $4,400 to $8,200 plus permanent credit damage. Scenario 2, you live in a GTO zone and use a check cashing service. Every transaction above $1,000 is reported over 1 year. If you cash bi-weekly paychecks of $2,200, that is 26 CTRs filed. 26 records in the FinCEN database. 26 opportunities for a flag. Scenario 3, civil forfeiture. If the government seizes your account, the average legal cost to fight back is $15,000 to $25,000. According to the Institute for Justice, the process takes 8 to 14 months. During that time, you have no access to your own money. Your family has no access. Your bills go unpaid. Your credit is destroyed. Now compare. If you use electronic direct deposit, pay your contractor with a bank transfer or check, and never handle large amounts of cash. 0 CTRs, 0 SARs, 0 forfeiture risk, 0 legal fees. The math is not complicated. Cash costs you an average of $5,000 to $25,000 in risk every year. Electronic banking costs you nothing. Here is your 5-step protection plan. Step 1. Eliminate cash patterns immediately. If you must withdraw cash, withdraw the full amount you need in one single transaction. Do not split it across days. A single withdrawal of $9,000 generates a CTR that is legal and creates no suspicion. 3 withdrawals of $3,000 across 3 days create a pattern that triggers a SAR. 1 large withdrawal is transparent. Multiple smaller ones look like structuring. Be transparent. Take what you need all at once. Step 2. Switch to electronic payments wherever possible. Pay contractors with Zelle, bank transfer, or a check. These transactions do not trigger CTRs or SRs because they are not cash. The $3,000 rule under 31 CFR 1010.415 applies only to cash purchases of monetary instruments. Electronic transfers are completely exempt from this rule. A $10,000 Zelle payment generates 0 federal reports. A $10,000 cash withdrawal generates a CTR automatically. Same money, same purpose, completely different consequences. Step 3. Know your geography. If you live in or travel through Arizona-California border areas, New Mexico or Texas border counties, understand that the reporting threshold is $1,000, not $10,000. Do not use check cashing services or money service businesses for amounts above $1,000 in these areas unless absolutely necessary. Use a bank with direct deposit instead. Open a checking account. Have your employer deposit directly. Avoid cash entirely in GTO zones. Step 4. Keep documentation for every large transaction. If you withdraw $5,000 to pay a contractor, keep the contractor's invoice, the receipt, the contract, and a photograph of the work being done. If you buy a used car for $8,000 cash, keep the bill of sale, the seller's name, and the vehicle registration. If ICE or any agency ever questions your transaction, you need to prove legitimate purpose within minutes, not weeks. Preep in my opening story was cleared because his attorney produced the renovation contract and the contractor's business license. Without those documents, the investigation would have continued for months. Step 5. Never sign anything under pressure. If federal agents appear at your home or business and present any document, especially one titled Consent to Forfeiture, do not sign. Say these exact words. I want to speak with my attorney before signing any documents. That is it. Nothing else. Do not explain. Do not argue. Do not apologize. I want to speak with my attorney before signing any documents. Ken Curran signed because agents pressured him and implied they would visit his wife. He lost over $150,000. You are not required to forfeit your property without a court order. You are not required to answer questions without counsel. The Fifth Amendment protects your right to remain silent. The Fourth Amendment protects you from unreasonable seizures. Use them. Now let me tell you what happens to your family when you do not follow these steps. When Preep's account was frozen, his wife could not buy groceries for 11 days. His automatic insurance payment failed. His car was uninsured for 2 weeks without him knowing. His 16-year-old son's college savings account, held jointly, was also frozen during the review because it was linked to the same profile. When Ken Curran's store account was seized, he could not pay his 4 employees. 4 American citizens went without paychecks for 3 weeks. He took a massive line of credit against his home, his previously debt-free home, to keep the business alive. At 60 years old, his retirement savings were gone. His American dream, 17 years of 70-hour weeks, erased by one forfeiture form he signed under pressure. When Randy Sauer lost $63,000, his dairy farm could not purchase feed. Cows do not wait for federal investigations to conclude. He burned through personal savings to keep animals alive while fighting to get his own legal money back. The impact is not just on you. It is on your wife who cannot buy groceries, your children whose college accounts are frozen, your employees who miss paychecks, your elderly parents back home who depend on your monthly support. Every dollar you protect by understanding these rules is a dollar that feeds your family. Every ATM receipt you keep is a shield. Every electronic transfer you make instead of a cash withdrawal is a wall between your family and a federal investigation. Let me give you the final summary. 5 numbers. Memorize them tonight. $10,000, the CTR threshold. Every cash transaction above this amount is automatically reported to the federal government. No exceptions. $5,000, the SAR threshold for banks. Any suspicious transaction at or above this amount must be reported. Below this amount, the bank can still report if they suspect structuring. $3,000, the monetary instrument recording threshold. Your identity is verified and recorded for any cash purchase of a money order, cashier's check, or bank draft at or above this amount. This record exists for 5 years. $1,000, the geographic targeting order threshold. If you live in designated border areas of Arizona, California, New Mexico, or Texas, this is your reporting line through September 2nd, 2026. 0, the minimum threshold for a SAR when the bank suspects criminal activity. There is no flaw. A compliance officer can file a SAR on a $500 withdrawal if your behavior pattern appears suspicious. 5 numbers, 5 traps, 5 protections. If this video helped you understand something nobody else is explaining, hit the like button right now. It costs you nothing, but it tells the algorithm to show this video to the next prep, the next Ken, the next family that needs this information before it is too late. Subscribe to Safe Senior Law. Turn on the bell notification. Share this video with one person in your family who uses cash regularly. One share can save someone $4,300 in legal fees and 41 days of frozen accounts. In the next video, I'm going to show you what happens when you travel outside the United States and your bank reports your absence to DHS, a rule that can cancel your green card without a single letter of warning. That video drops in 3 days. Do not miss it. Until then, protect your cash, protect your family, protect your status. I'll see you in the next